Hi, it's Neve. I wanted to talk a little bit about the basic um, building blocks for optimal health, having a great experience in life, and that extra zest or vital energy that happens when you feel inspired or doing something that you're really passionate about. How do you program your life to have that every day? And this is what I fascinates me. This is what I've been pursuing in my study of yoga, tantra, Ayurveda is how to live the most fulfilling life where I am serving others and I'm fulfilling my dharma, my purpose for being on the planet, while still just enjoying life and being easeful and grounded in my experience. If you haven't noticed, the world is crazy. It's volatile, it's unpredictable, everything's changing, and it's not very grounding. It's not super nourishing for our nervous systems. I listen to the news. I know what's going on, and it doesn't make me feel relaxed. So I have to be very mindful about how I consume that information. And Ayurveda teaches that there's these three main pillars, these three main things that we need to do in order to feel awesome, to feel grounded, and then expanded in ourselves, in our being. Can you guess what they are? You probably already know. It's not new news. I mean, Ayurveda is over 5,000 years old, so this stuff has been around. Lots of people are talking about this stuff. But it's really interesting to pay attention to the specific details around it. So I'm going to go into them a little bit. Rhythmic movement, rhythmic sleeping, rhythmic eating. That's it. Eating, sleeping, and moving the body. Okay, so for me, if I have awesome rhythmic eating and sleeping, I'm eating super nutritious food, I'm sleeping about the same time for 8 hours every night, and I don't have movement, I get depressed. I start to feel blah. Okay, so all three of these are essential. You take out any one and you don't feel awesome anymore. And this is, I mean, there's a more extensive list that I go into in my main program, my main offering for helping people live the life they love. And there's 10 basic things in that. And then there's probably at least 20 side categories. Okay. The main thing, keep the main thing the main thing. So eating, you want to eat food that has prana. What Ayurveda and yoga call prana is vital life force energy. Nutrients, enzymes, stuff that, helps the body. So it's actually really hard to do that. It's very challenging because the older food is, the further away from your own ecosystem it is, the more off season it is, the less healthy it is for you. Yoga and Ayurveda talk about smart, dumb, and dead foods. Okay, dead foods are anything that basically the enzymes aren't active anymore. There's no nutrition anymore. So canned food is dead food. Frozen food is dead food. Doesn't mean that it doesn't give you energy or it can't sustain you. It can, and it's not as optimal as smart food, which would be locally fresh picked from your farmer's market, from your backyard kind of food, which is very challenging and can be more expensive to get and find. Okay, so even if you're like, okay, I can't really handle going to the farmer's market, it's too expensive, I can't grow my own food, I don't have a backyard, whatever, it's fine. When you go to the grocery store, go into the fresh section with the fruits and vegetables and mostly shop there. That would be a baby step in the right direction. That's what I do if I can't get to the farmer's market or whatever. Like, okay. And then a lot of times in those sections now they have what's local food. Okay. Now there's another main part to this. Not only what you're eating, but when and how you're eating. So when you eat, ideally, because you're like this whole holistic system of amazingness, you can train your digestive system. Like you can train your ability to digest food to show up when you eat food by eating around the same times every day. So if you have something at, something lighter and whatever delicious, I like stewed apples in the winter, but you have something, maybe 8 or 9 in the morning, have a meal around lunch, and that would want to be the meal that has the protein and the fat in it because it's harder to digest, maybe more carbs in that meal. And then in the evening, before it gets dark, ideally, because the sun is directly related to the fire in our belly. So when it gets dark, hopefully you've already eaten dinner and it was light, like a soup or a salad. And this system, this rhythm takes a while to get used to. So be very gentle with yourself. Ayurveda is not like, you can eat this, you can't eat that. It's not really like that. If you get to know the heart of India and the heart of Ayurveda is about how do you nourish yourself? How do you nourish yourself? Okay, so rhythmic eating, the other piece to that is the attitude, the emotions, the energy that you have when you eat. This is why praying over your food is a great idea. Blessing the food, blessing the cook, blessing the animals or vegetables that the food came from, blessing the time and space you're there with people. Or you could sing a song as a blessing over the food. But eating the food, I said but, and I try not to use the word but, eating the food in a way that is mindful, where you're not distracted. You're not scrolling Instagram and your emotions aren't like, woo, 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 right? The phone is away and you're either with yourself and your energy, or you're with those people that are with you and you're with their energy and you're eating happy. Like you're in a happy mood. If you're not in a happy mood, do something to make yourself happy before you eat, because that energy affects what happens. Your outer ecosystem, the food on the outside becomes the energy that's inside. That's literally what happens. You are what you eat. Okay, second, sleeping. Sleeping is important, really important. In the winter, we want to sleep 8, 9, maybe even 10 hours. Think about the bears hibernating. We're building our immune system for the whole year. So it's really great in the winter to sleep extra, to sleep longer, maybe even sleep in, because you're building ojas. What Ayurveda calls ojas is this creative sexual juices, the life force energy that's in this liquid, luscious form. So it's great to sleep extra in the winter to build the ojas. And then in the summer, anywhere between 6 and 8 hours is great. In general, 8 hours always is awesome. And I notice for myself that in the summer, I sleep a little bit less than I do in the winter. I also sleep a little less during the full moon than I do during the new moon, which gets into my menstrual cycle mindset. So I menstruate, this is kind of extra, but I menstruate during the new moon and I ovulate during the full moon, and that keeps me fertile. That keeps my hormones balanced. That keeps my cramp pains down and my PMS down, just as a side note. So eating, sleeping, and ideally you're going to sleep before 10 p.m. and you're waking up before the sun. In the winter, that's a little bit easier to do than in the summer because there's less light depending on where you live. Ideally, go to bed before 10 p.m. or by 10:30 latest so that you're asleep before your system goes into a digestive mode where it's cleansing the organs. If you're awake when your body's supposed to be cleansing itself, you're not cleansing. Then the body's ability to heal itself decreases. We got free med earlier. Why not do it? And then waking up before the sun helps you wake up to the more spiritual energy that's around, like this energy before the sunrise. This is why the Pope gets up early, and monks, everybody that's very spiritual, leaders, people get up before the dawn to be with the divine. Whatever that is for you, even if it's just being with yourself before the sun comes up. Once the sun comes up, your mind goes to your to-do lists and to your tasks. So sleeping eating, and then movement, rhythmic movement. So ideally, you want to break a sweat every day if you can, and you're willing and able. Take a cold shower every day to just wake up your lymphatic system and your nerves. It'll help you from getting sick. But movement, ideally moving, like, so once the sun comes up or right before, doing some movement to connect to your physical body and your breath and to get out of your head for a little while. There's this expansion in the energy body, the prana body, pranamaya kosha, when you get up and move. You know, even if you just do a few basic stretches, like 2 minutes, start with a 2 minute to 5 minute practice, and then you'll start to feel really good. So you'll probably want to go to 20 or 45 minutes. But that movement, and that's like the essential, I have to move in the morning movement, and then working out 3 to 5 times a week, going on a longer walk or run, going swimming, biking around, ice skating, anything that's physical that you like to do, planning and scheduling those movements in to help with your emotions, to help with your mind, to help with living vitally, like having vitality and happiness and joy in life. So Ayurveda says these are the 3 things: rhythmic moving, rhythmic sleeping, rhythmic eating. And there's definitely more information on all of them, but just starting there. And there's so many things I could say, but one other thing I would like to mention is that your GI tract, your digestive system, needs 13 hours of rest to fully cleanse. So stop eating at 7 p.m. and don't eat again until 8 a.m. Give your body that 13 hours of rest so it can start to heal itself. And you can see this on your tongue. If your tongue has lots of white, gray gunk on it in the morning, maybe you need to cleanse a little bit more, drink some more water, use the tongue scraper, scrape that crap out, because that's your liver depositing yuck, trying to get it out of the body. And when you brush your teeth or you brush your tongue, it goes right back in. So tongue scrapers are great. All right, I hope this has inspired you to live Ayurvedically. There's just the basics. There's so many more secrets to hacking life and to living in a thriving lifestyle and with vital life force energy, and to an anti-aging. It's an anti-aging formula. It's a primal formula. Like, how do we live with the rhythms of nature? How do we live with the rhythms of our body? And in closing, there's 3 main causes of disease that Ayurveda talks about. So disrespecting the senses. For example, you go to a music show and the music's too loud and your ear hurts and you don't leave or put anything in your ears. Right? That's disrespecting the senses. Or something, maybe another person, like a lover or a friend or someone, smells horrible. Maybe you shouldn't mix your jeans with them. Maybe they aren't the greatest person for you to be kissing, right? So honoring your senses, respecting the senses. So 3 causes these. Disrespecting the senses is 1. Making negligent choices. That's like, oh, I stayed up late drinking alcohol and now I feel miserable the next day. Don't do it again. Why would you do it again? You know, at least make it a once a year thing. Don't do it every weekend. Right? So that's making negligent choices. You tried to do something, it didn't work, and you're still doing it. That causes disease. And living out of rhythm is the 3rd. Living out of rhythm is staying up late at night. Living out of rhythm is not sleeping 8 hours. Generally, living out of rhythm is not having rhythmic movement, rhythmic eating, and rhythmic sleeping. So basically, all of the things I talked about in this video are mostly for number 3 causes. Well, I named it as number 3, but there's no order. So Ayurveda is rhythmic sleeping, rhythmic eating, rhythmic movement. And Ayurveda says you are moving towards disease when you disrespect your senses, you make negligent choices, and you live out of rhythm. I hope this has inspired you to live Ayurvedically. And I totally love you. I totally love this stuff. Ayurveda is amazing. It's really helped me move away from negative patterns and into positive patterns and habits. And I have lots of ways to share that with you so you can connect with me if you want to learn more and add some of these practices into your life. All right, thanks.